Hello, friends, welcome back. And if you are new, welcome to our channel and thank you for joining. So, today I'm here with a very beautiful knitting pattern, and I'm sure you're going to love it. So, let us begin. Now, this is a beautiful pattern which is in the multiple of 6. So, I've taken 6 into 4, 24 plus 3 stitches. And here we are going to use two different colored yarns, and I have already done a rib, 3 rows of rib, that is knit purl 3 times I have done. The rib I have done so that our pattern doesn't curl upwards. Now this is the foundation row that is required for this particular pattern, that is we are just going to purl all across. Now this pattern is very easy, it is beginners friendly, and I'm sure you are going to agree with me once you see how the pattern is worked. So here I am working on the purl. I have nearly reached the end of the row. This is the foundation row for this particular pattern. Now actual pattern begins. Here I am introducing my new yarn. This is the way how beginners can try, or we can just start straight away. Actually, tying the new yarn helps to secure it properly. Now we are going to work with our second yarn. We are going to knit 2. See, it's already done. Now yarn forward. Now I am going to slip 5 number of stitches into my right needle. See, I am not working on it. 5 stitches transferred. Now yarn backwards, and I am going to knit 1. Again yarn forward, slipping 5 stitches into the right needle without working on it, yarn backwards and a knit. Again yarn forward, 5 stitches are transferred or slipped into the right needle without working, yarn backwards and a knit. Again yarn forward, passing 5 stitches into the right needle without working, yarn backwards, and finally we are going to work 2 number of knit with our second yarn. Now let's move on to the second row. We do 2 number of purl with the red yarn or the second yarn, then yarn backwards. That is very essential step. Then we are going to slip 5 stitches into our right needle, then again yarn forward, and then we do a purl. Yes, now yarn backward, we slip 5 stitches into the right needle, yarn forward, and then we do a purl. Again yarn backwards, slip 5 stitches into the right needle, yarn forward and a purl. Again yarn backwards, we slip 5 stitches without working into the right needle, and then yarn forward, and then we do 2 number of purl. So a second row is complete. This is how it looks. Let's move on to the third row, which is very easy. That is, we are just going to knit all across with our first yarn. That is the white one. We are going to knit all across. So this is how it looks. Now moving on to the fourth row. This is also a simple row. We are just going to purl all across. Now moving on to the fifth row. This is very important. Here I am working with the white yarn. I have worked 4 stitches. After that I am going to pass my right needle underneath the red loops that we had formed earlier, and then I'm going to knit and then release the stitch. Now again knit 5, 1, 2, that's the third one, the fourth and the fifth. Now I am going to pass my right needle right under the red loops and work a knit, and then pass the stitch underneath the red loops. Then continue with 5 number of knit. Once 5 number of knit is done, again I'll pass my right needle underneath the red loops and work a knit. Yes, then slowly I will pass my needle underneath the red loops and finish off the stitch. Simple as that. Again 5 number of knit. Once that is done, I am going to pass my right needle underneath the red loops and work a knit, and slowly pass my right needle again and then release the stitches. Actually, once you do it, you will see it is not very hard, it is easy, it is simple. So our row is complete. Now moving on to the 6th row. This row is very easy. We are just going to purl all across. That's it. This is how our little butterflies look after the pattern is complete. Now let us start off again working a knit with our second yarn, and then yarn forward. We are going to slip stitches into the right needle, 3 number of stitches slipped into the right needle. Then we are going to do a knit again with the red yarn, again yarn forward, and I'm going to slip 5 stitches into the right needle. Yes, done. Then yarn backwards and again a knit. Now yarn forward, slipping of the stitches, 5 number of stitches into the right needle without working on it, and then yarn backwards and a knit. Yarn forward, slipping of 5 stitches, yarn backwards and a knit. Again yarn forward, slipping of 3 number of stitches out here. This we need to be careful. See, here also we have done 3 number of stitches, and then yarn backwards and a knit. So this row is complete. Now moving on to the next row, we are going to do a purl with the red yarn, then yarn backwards, and then we are going to slip 3 stitches into the right needle. Yarn forward, we do a purl. Yes, yarn backwards, slipping 5 stitches into the right needle, yarn forward and a purl. That is the sequence. Yarn backwards, 5 number of stitches transferred to the right needle without working, yarn forward and a purl. Again yarn backwards, 5 number of stitches transferred into the right needle, yarn forward and we do a purl. Again yarn backwards, we transfer 3 number of stitches into the right needle, and finally finishing off the row with a purl. That's it. Now moving on to the next row, we are just going to knit all across with a white yarn. That's it. See, just working knit and purl makes our pattern easier. It helps us complete the project quickly. Now this row will just be a purl all across. See, Now I finished working the wrong side. Now moving on, we are going to make the butterflies now. See, one stitch I have knitted. After that I'm going to pass my needle underneath the red loops and work a knit, and then release the stitch from my left needle. Then I'm going to knit 5 number of stitches. 1 2 3, that's the fourth one, and the fifth one. Now please watch carefully. The right needle goes under the red loop. Actually, once the pattern is done, it becomes easier to look at. See, then we do a knit and pass the right needle underneath the loop, and then release the stitch from the left needle. Then working 5 number of knit, and then see, just above the lower butterfly we are going to make another one. We are going to knit, pass the right needle underneath the loop, and then release the stitch from the left needle. Simple as that. Looks a bit difficult, but it is not difficult. Right needle under the loop, we do a knit and then release the stitch from the left needle. Simple. See how pretty our butterflies look. And imagine a beautiful sweater or a cardigan having these butterflies fluttering all around. I have reached the end. When we have 2 stitches, now we are going to do a knit again from under the red loop, and then release the stitch, and finally finish off the row with a knit. So this is how our pattern looks. Now the wrong side, we are just going to purl all across. Now this is how our pattern has turned out after finishing off the wrong side. You must agree that this is a very beautiful pattern, and it's easy to work as well. Now doing a 2 number of knit with the red yarn forward, I'm going to slip 5 number of stitches into the right needle. This is, I'm starting off with a new pattern, and do a knit, and again yarn forward, 5 number of stitches transferred to the right needle, and again yarn backward and doing a knit. This is the sequence we need to follow till the end of the row. So here I am finishing off the row with 2 number of knit with the red yarn, as we had done in the beginning of the row. Now moving on to the next row. Here we do 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, slipping 5 number of stitches into the right needle, yarn forward, and then a purl, yarn backwards, slipping 5 number of stitches into the right needle without working, yarn forward, and a purl. So this is the sequence that is to be repeated till the end of the row. Always we need to keep in mind that the starting point and the end point of the row should have similar stitches. Now this is how our pattern is looking right now. Now this particular row is very easy. We are just going to knit all across with our white yarn. I've reached the end of the row. Let us begin the next row by doing purl all across. Here I am at the end of the row. This is the right side. This is how it looks. Now we are going to work our butterflies again. Four number of knit, Then the right needle goes under the loop, and then we are going to work a knit. Pass our right needle under the loop and then release the stitch from the left needle. Now again, as I told you, once our butterflies are formed, it becomes easier to locate where the next butterfly is going to be put. Now again, working five stitches, or we can say knitting 5 stitches. After that, the butterfly is going to be formed. The right needle passed under the red loop, we are going to work a knit and pass the right needle slowly under the loop and then release the stitch from the left needle. So that's the sequence we need to work. Sure, you'll agree that this is indeed a beautiful pattern which is easy to work, isn't it? This is how our pattern looks, and the wrong side I'm going to work. It is just going to be all across. I finished working on the wrong side as well. This is the fruit that we get at the end. Look at it, how pretty our butterflies are looking. So friends, I hope you all will use this beautiful pattern in your future projects. As I always say, do not forget to share, subscribe and comment, to hit the like button if you found the video interesting and useful, and if you are new, to take a moment to subscribe. I'm sure you'll love our channel, and stay tuned for interesting videos. So till we meet again, it is bye bye for today.